Welcome back to Chris and Retro. New format and new. I'm trying some new things out here tonight. I've never done a live stream, and so I'm going to do this as a pre-record first, and react to something that I've seen tonight. The whole reason why I wanted to have this format capability on the channel is because I do see some things occasionally that trouble me, and I want to be able to handle them, or other things that are encouraging. I want to make sure we share with them in the context of the show. I certainly won't turn this into a gripe session about a lot of things, but there was an event tonight that was important for me to share, and I see these things come up, and it's troubling. So early on in my life, I was raised in a Christian home, not a religious home, but a Christian home, and that we were involved in a lot of things. Well, I saw multiple churches split when I was a kid growing up, and even though my parents are devout Christians and very amazing people and believe it and follow what they believe and are consistent with how they believe it and honorable human beings, the construct around them really fell apart multiple times. And as a child, it became something massively unattractive. I also got a lot of saturation with it being around Christian schools and all this other stuff. I was ultimately in public schools and started to get my eyes open a little bit more to it. Eventually, though, through a season of addiction and losing everything, I found God to be my higher power and a massive part of the solution for me to find better days. If people ask me how I got where I'm at, and you want to hear what I've got, that's part of my story. It's not a religious construct. It's that in a jail cell or in a cemetery or walking up the street or running or whatever, that spiritual component for me was God, and I found it very fortifying as I tried to figure out what to do to rebuild my life. And, based on the 5 years since then, as of September 11th, I have to attest that it's worked. Well, my issue is that when YouTubers or anybody else is a public figure and part of their platform is that they're Christian, this platform, I happen to be a Christian. We will have Christian artists on here. We'll have non-Christian artists on here. My very next guest is been spent 34 years in prison and is not a Christian that I know of. His platform has nothing to do with that. So we're going to have people that have different language on here. It's going to be a lot of a mix, but so the platform isn't really based on that. However, there are platforms that are 100% based on that, and the brand is all about it. And so when those brands engaged in public debate, I find that tremendously troubling when they are in public debate with each other. And so tonight I happened across the live stream. There, Ruslan KD and Marcus Rogers are two famous YouTubers. Ruslan is one that I've been sort of attracted to based on some of the subject matter he handles, and he handles, kind of like he gives a seat at the table for just about anybody, which I have a lot of respect for. Up until tonight, I really just co-signed just about everything he did, and until tonight. Now I'm going to make my first attempt here at sharing a screen here for you, and I'll explain to you why I'm troubled. So we're going to give this a shot, see if it works out. If it doesn't, now you know.
I'm talking about me and you, bro. We got a good rapport. I've never said anything ill about your character, bro.
So Ruslan's on the left. Marcus is on the right. Well, my left, or my right. My farthest right. Near right is Ruslan.
I don't care about the music industry. I'm talking about me and you, Marcus.
Do you want to pray first? Because you're very emotional right now.
Bro, you want to pray? That ain't the kettle calling the pot black, bro. You talking about I'm emotional.
I own it. That's the difference between you and me. I own it.
So here's the contention with this whole thing. Marcus has had some checkered decision-making, even as a publicly professing Christian. And in that system of thinking, there's a lot of sin related to it and can also, I believe, cause you some problems. I have a very checkered past. I mean, and some of the things I've even done as a Christian would disqualify me from certain ministries. So I get all that and why that's an issue, but my concern is why are we doing this publicly? I mean, Marcus has obviously got a platform that helps people. He's out there doing something to try to help people. He's sharing a belief system he has, and for Ruslan to take his platform and start exposing all of his dirt, even from a street perspective, you just don't do that to people. That's just dirty pool, whether you're in a Christian setting, a debate, or whatever else. If somebody says something ill about you, you don't go out there to start throwing all their trash all over the place. It's a sign of massive weakness, and I have a real problem with that going on, regardless of whether I agree with Marcus or I agree with Ruslan. What I can tell you is that Ruslan going on a show and trashing every detail of every personal thing that Marcus has done is unbelievable to me. And honestly, I lost a lot of respect for him as a entertainer or whatever he is here on YouTube. Additionally, it was all born out of the fact that Marcus had issues with stuff that Ruslan was supporting and called him fake and some other things. Well, apparently Ruslan's pride can't take being called fake, so he made this whole scene about this whole thing. That's all the drama behind it. I could really care less what these two gentlemen got going on. I can tell you I have some disrespect based on my life and how it's been and how you handle things, and I find that to be a problem. My issue is this.
I own my past. Everything you brought up, about my past, I've owned it. I've explained it. Now, certain things I will not say because I will never speak bad about my children's mother. You don't know what I was going through.
So
when I was in Afghanistan, you don't know what I was.
So anyway, we don't know the context. We don't know anything that was going on. What he's alleging that happened in his life. The point that I'm having with all this is that what is the point? If you guys are having private conversations and having your debates, have them privately. This has no benefit for what you say you believe in. And quite honestly, I find it disgusting and offensive. Having been somebody that as a teenager was driven completely away from church and God and everything based on this behavior. And I'd be suspicious that a lot of my audience that may not be followers of God or anything would find this to be ridiculous as well. So guys, man, I'm fine with whatever you believe, and I'm fine with you guys having your debates, but this public look is horrible. And even the feedback that they got live is that over 60% of the viewers, based on some poll they had, felt like this was not okay. And so I'm not sure the exact wording on it, so forgive me if I've misrepresented the poll, but it was a negative context of over 60%. So I'm sharing this video in a very quick blitz to say, look, it's my first stab at trying this here with some kind of reaction setting, but this is a bad look. These two gentlemen I have respect for individually before this. I honestly felt like Marcus got put on the hot seat. I felt like Ruslan's pride was very evident here and that he felt burned because somebody called him fake. And that turned into a whole character assassination on Marcus and right down to basically call him a hypocrite because he felt that supporting certain artists was not biblical in his opinion. So it just was all a bad look. I'm not trying to perpetuate the bad look. It's simply to say, if as Christian people that we're believing a certain thing, I guess my ultimate point is this: if we believe something for ourselves, it's not our job to go out there in the public and try to have every single person exactly where they're at be exactly where we are. We'll never mesh up because I might be way behind in my journey with somebody else. Somebody else might be, way behind in their journey with where they're struggling. It really doesn't matter. We're not ever in sync with where other people are at. We got to be right where we're at, doing what we say we're going to do, be authentic to what we believe in, and support people along the way. At no point should these two gentlemen who are supposedly light to others who are struggling, should they be on public debate like this, talking over top of each other on a broadcast that was reaching their entire audience. So I'm hoping to call this out and give it some accountability. I'm certainly not here for, of course I want the channel to grow. I would not want it to grow on this. This is just personally a pet peeve of mine. And quite honestly, it was a very destructive thing as a teenage young man. If I'd seen this, I'd have been like, oh wow, there's more of the same crap that I seen in church in two church splits. So as an adult, I fast forward and God became part of my life through a few people that I met silently and a Bible handed to me in a jail. So that's how it really works. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good night until I I'll give you more positive stuff once I figure out how to use this new software the next time around. All right, until then, talk to you soon.